Olá, você sabe que o YouTube traduz todos os nossos vídeos mais recentes para os principais idiomas, incluindo o português. Basta clicar no botão de Settings, configurações e escolher o áudio de sua preferência, como português, por exemplo. You know, art is one of these things that is a really excellent way for you to pass your time, especially if you're retired, like Elci and I. You see, I've been a self-taught artist. I never went to art school because the reality is when we lived in the UK, in Scotland, I was 18 years old and I said to my father, I want to be an artist. And some of his friends told him that don't send your son to an art school. He's not going to make any money and it's just going to be a waste of 3 or 4 years and waste of his money. So he discouraged me from going to an art school. I'd been accepted actually in 2 really good art schools based upon my portfolio. So I ended up going to a hotel management school in Austria. But you know, they say that your creativity never leaves you. So I've been an artist all my life. Without any formal training, I've just been, you know, watching and practicing and, you know, sketching, painting, whether it's been oil paintings, acrylic paintings when we lived in the US, big paintings that I would actually sell to people, all self-taught. Ever since we've come to live in Brazil for the last 4.5 years now, I've been making small paintings, gouache and traditional watercolors. So basically watercolor mediums, both of them. And I've been keeping my sizes down to A4 or smaller, roughly 8.5 by 11 inches or smaller. The reason for that is, you know, if anybody buys my work, which people still do, then these are small enough for me to be able to ship through the Brazilian post to whoever buys them. And also, I can finish one painting, small size ones, one a day, one every couple of days, depending on what I'm painting and the complexity of the subject matter. My point is, in my life, art has played a big role and continues to, as a matter of fact, play a big role in keeping me occupied after retirement. What I've actually also done is started another YouTube channel that is exclusively designed for art lessons, because really my dream, if I might share with you, is to one day soon, perhaps within the next year, host workshops for people with my painting skills in watercolors and gouache. There are many artists around the world that are hosting workshops, and because we live in such a beautiful part of the world in Brazil, where people come from all over the world to enjoy the beaches and the fishing villages and the wooden boats and the quaint cities with historic centers and the music and the culture and the festivities, they come to do all that right here where we live. So it would be so easy for me to set up art workshops right here for people to come, visit, paint alongside me, learn something, you know, for a week to 10 days to 2 weeks maybe. I could even partner up with other artists who are interested in this kind of thing and doing joint workshops. So that really is a dream of mine that I hope to do in the next year or so. So with that in mind, I have started another YouTube channel, and the link for that channel is right here. So if you're interested in art lessons, either for yourself or for your children, then I strongly encourage you to consider supporting me by subscribing to that channel. And that channel is going to be not about vlogs like this Pepi and Elci channel. That channel is going to be exclusively me showcasing how a painting or a sketch or a pen and ink drawing unfolds from start to finish. Some will have just music, some will have voiceover, so I'll mix it up all. So that's my plan. Here, for the rest of this vlog, I'm going to show you what a typical art lesson would look like. So sit back, relax, and watch this lesson, which I have also posted on my Artist Pepi YouTube page. So this is an example of how art is really making a difference in my life. And perhaps if you are retired like me and Elci, perhaps art will make a difference in your life. So it's never too late to get started. Follow along. If you're passionate about something, buy some basic supplies. All you need basically is a black pen and a sketchbook, and you can get started. And quite frankly, the simpler you go, the easier it is. Hello, this is Pepi. I'm an artist based in Bahia, Brazil, and I am looking forward to sharing this video with you because this is the first video on my channel that's actually going to have voiceover. This sketch was made by me at a restaurant in Ilhéus, Bahia about a week ago, and I decided to paint it at my home studio. I like to make videos in a sort of a cinematic style because I have another YouTube channel. I'll put a link on for that here so you can see why I like to make cinematic videos, because my other channel has nothing but cinematic videos. Here I'm starting to do watercolor after many months of doing gouache, because I just decided that watercolor is a medium that travels easier with you when you travel someplace. The paint boxes are small. In this case, I purchased a Schminke from Germany, and I love this paint. With a very little bit of water, it's a strong pigment. So here I am painting with the dark colors first. Most people that are watercolor theorists would disagree with this style, but I'm a self-taught artist. Nobody has ever taught me. I've just taught myself. I never went to art school, no nothing. So in my previous attempts at watercolor, I had tried to do something in a traditional sense, where I started with a light wash, and then after that dried, I went on to something darker, and then darker, and then darker, and finally the darkest values completed my painting, perhaps with some detail work with pencils or pen. In this painting, however, I decided that I'm going to do it the opposite way and see how that works out for me. So that's exactly what I did. I am starting, as you can see here, with the darkest values first, which is a mixture of blue, I think 1 or 2 blues, and maybe a little bit of black in there as well. So that's what I'm doing here. And by the end of the painting, you'll see that the process actually worked out just fine. For me, and it's different for everybody, for me, when I see the dark values there to begin with, it makes it easier for me to visualize the finished piece, because then I know where the shadows are, and then I have to go from the shadows to something a little bit lighter still, and then finally just leaving the whites as the highlights, because in watercolors you don't paint white, you just leave the page white. So that becomes your highest value in terms of light. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm attaching, I'm painting a slightly lighter wash as well. So I'm going to be quiet a little bit and watch this painting with you. And when there's something for me to add, I'll jump back in there and I'll say something. But hope you continue watching this and listening to the jazz music for now. I always love to spray, as you saw me do, spray my paints with a little spray bottle, which activates the pigments, and much easier for me to lift them off the paint can. Another thing I love to do, as you see there, is use an abundance of water, and then I actually prefer it when the water drips down the page, because it leaves behind, with the pigment, it leaves behind those streaks of flowing paint. Personally, I think that looks good. And here again, as you can see, I'm using some darker values in the red, not just the initial wash that I put in there for the background. Yeah, love to clean the palette every now and then, because then I can start with new colors. Another thing I've noticed that if you're a beginner, you will realize that watercolor lays dark when you first paint it onto the page, but when it dries, it actually gets lighter. So don't be afraid by putting paint with a little bit extra pigment on your painting, because it's going to become lighter when it dries. Some people like to use hair dryers. I prefer to just let it dry on its own, because that's, I think, part of the process. Patience, you know, watercolor, if there's one thing it teaches you, is patience. In my next painting, I'm going to try and do the zone process, which is the zone process is just using 4 colors, a very, very limited palette. I'm going to experiment with that and see how that works out. Never done it before, but I suppose it might be a little challenging. We'll see. Now, as you can see below the central figure, there's the man with his arms in front of his chest. Right below him is a block of gouache skin tone. I sometimes use that, you know, I definitely use that when I'm painting exclusively in gouache, because then I don't have to mix paints to find skin tones. But I also use it here in you know, almost exclusive watercolor settings, as you'll see later on. But I don't just use that skin tone. I often use watercolor as well to sort of give it a diluted effect, if you will. The cup that I'm using is a folding cup. You can buy it online. It's great to travel with, because I bought one for my dog initially when I take her for a walk. I carry that with me, and then I can give her something to drink whenever she's thirsty on the nearby beach. But then I decided I'm going to buy one for my paintings as well, and I keep that handy. So now you can see that I'm actually mixing the darkest, actually, contrary to what I said earlier, the darkest values are going on now. You know, there's no really rule per se. You can sequence things as you deem fit. And that's the beauty of being an artist. You know, you don't have to follow rules necessarily, because if you do, then everybody's paintings look the same. You can follow your own way of doing things, and chances are then, you know, they're going to have your style. So in this case, as you can see, I'm using a very dark mixture of blue and black, and it's making the painting pop much more so than what I started out with. Yeah, that's the block of gouache skin tone that I was talking to you about earlier, and I'm adding that to the figures just to suggest skin tone. By no means is that going to be the end all of it. You will see that I will add other colors on there as well. In my opinion, it's very important to paint loose and painterly, because in my opinion, and I respect those that think differently, in my opinion, a painting should look like a painting and not like a photograph. Because if a painting is going to lose that element of painterly quality and look very realistic, then you're better off buying a camera and taking a photograph and printing that. Many Impressionism-based artists, like me, I'm inspired by Impressionism. They use this loose, painterly style of painting. This restaurant in Ilhéus, Bahia, has been around for 30 years, and great food. If you ever come to this part of Brazil, again, Ilhéus, which has an airport in Bahia, northeastern Brazil. It's where we live, close by to there. We have a place by the beach in the region, and my wife and I often go there to this restaurant for their buffet, for their lunch buffet. very reasonably priced, and you've got like 10 or 15 things to choose from to eat. Amazing food. And they also have this amazing chicken sandwich called the franguinho for about 20 reais, which is about $4.5, $5 maybe US dollars. You get this amazing sandwich, which my wife and I often eat as well. So the last time I was there with my wife, I just sketched this on a whim because I had my sketchbook with me, which I showed you at the beginning of this video. And then this is being painted at my home studio. I have many brushes, as you might have seen in a wide shot, but the reality, as any artist will tell you, most artists might have a nice collection of brushes, like me, but we end up using maybe 3 or 4, especially on smaller paintings like this. This is a small art journal, and there's really no need for more than maybe 3 or 4 sizes of brushes. I also use a toothbrush to splatter paint, as you will see later on in this video. And the good thing with that is if you travel, you don't have to take a lot of stuff with you. Some of my brushes that I use are actually folding brushes, so they become literally half the size of what they are, especially when you travel. So here comes the toothbrush that I was talking about. So I have a lot of water on it and white paint, and then I splatter usually white paint, and then I come in with a brush and kind of add a few more dots here and there just to give it a different look, to give it a painterly look, as I was saying. By the way, this entire video has been sped up 2.5 times the normal speed, so it was necessary to do that to make it about 13-14 minutes long. Otherwise it would have been much longer. So here I'm using gouache, the skin tone, to add a hand to the furthest figure that you see. And the beauty of gouache is, it's not transparent, unlike watercolors, which are transparent. So gouache not being transparent, you can actually come in and make corrections, whether it's in skin tone or in white. I do have another set nearby that is not visible in this video, but that's a gouache set. So if I want to make corrections, I can come in with gouache, make some corrections, and it covers. Here's my pencil and the sandpaper, which I'm sharpening a point. And now I'm coming up to the end of the painting. I'm going to use this pencil, which is in 8B, and I'm going to add some details with pencil because I still want it to remain like a painting. If I come in with pen and ink, it takes on a completely different flavor. Nothing wrong with that. I've actually bought some ink, waterproof ink, which is on its way to me here in Brazil from the US. And once that arrives, I'm going to test ink and watercolor with that and see if I like it or not. That's the beauty of being an artist. You can experiment with different things. If you like it, great, you carry on. If you don't like it, you stick to whatever you like and do best. In my case, I love painting figures. It's almost like being a photographer capturing movement. I'm not very well versed in landscapes and nature and that kind of stuff, but I'm quite sure, given time, I'll get there. So if you like my style of painting, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. And if you have other people that you think will also like my work, then please do share my channel, my art channel, with them. I'm starting to paint on a regular basis, and I'm starting to post these videos. And here's the finished painting once again. And hopefully you're smiling back at the painting as I'm smiling at you. It's been nice talking with you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you at the next one. So, did you like the art video? The lesson? Would you like to see more of these? Yes? Be sure to subscribe to my art channel. I've put the link in the description below, so it's easy for you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.